Welcome to Infinite Models. If you like building aircraft, any type of armor, how about prehistoric or current wildlife? Autos of all shapes and sizes and genres, seafaring subjects of all types, and figures, vignettes, and dioramas, then this group was made for you. Alright guys, my intention tonight, honestly, I was going to come in here and just talk common hand tools and share some stuff because we've got people of all skill levels. So I was thinking I was going to do a thing on hand tools. And frankly, it was Bill Moore who has motivated me to do otherwise. The other day, Bill Moore posted his question of the week. And the question of the week was, which do you prefer to use, 3D printing or photo etched metal? Now, I almost assumed that Bill meant like the new 3D printed decals, Quinta Studios, Red Fox, stuff like that. Yay. But 3D printing goes a whole lot further than just, 3D printing decals. 3D printing started off with various structures and conversion parts and otherwise benign things that, you would add exterior color, but not like an instrument panel with all the detail in it. So I took his question to mean 3D printing, 3D printed decals, or photo etched metal. And I placed my answer to that question, but it really got me to thinking. And I want to tell you guys that I don't know how many of you, but as I scroll through the many Facebook modeling groups that I'm a member in, you see a lot of people lamenting the fact that, number one, the local hobby shops have all gone away, right? So, living where I live, I was stationed at Quantico for years. I lived in Northern Virginia. I've been stationed here at PAX, retired here. And in this area, we used to have, there was Granddad's Hobbies in Springfield, and Piper Hobbies was over in Chantilly. We had Doug's Hobbies was right here locally. There was the Squadron Shop was up near in Silver Spring, Maryland, just north of DC on the Beltway. And there was Nostalgic Plastic, and so we had shop after shop after shop all over the place. And when I was stationed at Quantico in the mid-90s, early 90s, mid-90s, there was a group of us that were all stationed there together, that were all scale model builders. And we would get together, hop in our car on like a Saturday morning, we'd meet, get some breakfast, drink some coffee, shoot the breeze, and then we would drive around all day. And we'd go from Springfield to Chantilly to Silver Spring for 2 stops, Waldorf, back across the bridge. It was an all-day deal. We'd hit every shop, and we would drop some serious dead presidents all over the place at all these hobby shops. And every one of them I mentioned, and every one I'm talking about, are gone. They've all closed up. They've all dried up and blown away. There is, down here locally, we have a Hobby Lobby. Every one of you that's watching here tonight, and will probably watch this when I post it, you know what Hobby Lobby carries. Everyone in every state, in every location, has the same aisle of models in every store. That's our selection. Across the river, about 2.5 hours from here in Fredericksburg, Virginia, is a hobby town. And that's about the most well-appointed hobby shop around these parts, 2.5 hours from me. I will drive over there on occasion, on a Saturday or Sunday after church, and I'll go over there so I can buy liquid stuff that otherwise has to be shipped via ground, right? From anywhere else in the country. I'll go over there to buy paints and thinners and stuff like that, primers. That's what I go over there to buy because I don't have to wait for it to come via USPS ground or UPS ground. Those things take forever. But all the hobby shops are gone. So I'm with you on lamenting the demise of the local hobby shop. But I will, that's one side of the coin. I will say on the other side of the coin is that the absolute proliferation of the mega hobby store online, and you think of Mega Hobbies in New Jersey and Sprue Brothers in Missouri. Their name just ran out of my head. There's a big, the one in California, and so there's great big role models and all these various houses. So they have all kinds of stuff. You have to order it online, and they have to ship it to you. But I will tell you this. I ordered, you guys saw that I posted the mail call of all the aftermarket bits. I got the OV10 landing gear and SH3 details and PBY5 details. And I posted the picture of my mail call from Sprue Brothers that showed up last Sunday, right? Well, now get this. I placed that order on Thursday, 11 November, Veterans Day. I placed the order online at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Veterans Day. I thought the store would be closed. The first update I get from them was like 7:36 p.m., 11 November. It was picked up by FedEx for shipment, and the expected delivery date was the following Tuesday. Well, it didn't take till Tuesday. It was on my front porch Sunday when I got home from church. Ordered it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days, including the weekend, the stuff was in my hands. So I got to tell you, some of those guys are just pretty darn good at getting stuff to you in a very timely manner. And it's impressive. So while I do lament the fact that I can't walk into a shop and open things up and kind of thumb and pour through them and enjoy them by thumbing through them, holding them in my hands, there's just something about figuring out the heft and the weight and the number of sprues that are in a box. Can't do it. I get it. So, yeah, I'm with you there. We can get stuff quickly, but has there ever been, Bill Moore's question really prompted me to think about this. Has there ever been a better time to be a scale model builder than right now? We've all talked and we've all lamented the loss of the local hobby shop. There's a whole bunch of us that talk about the loss of Cutting Edge and all the stuff that, Meteor Productions, they're gone, they're out of business. Dave Klaus, that dried up and went away. KMC, the Kendall Modeling Corporation, gone. Belcher Bits, gone. There used to be a Canadian aircraft modelers thing, and his name eludes me right now. Cam Miller, Canadian military aircraft models, gone. Tax Scale Dynamics, gone. So you can run down the list and you can think of all the aftermarket companies that have been around that have gone the way of the dodo, and we can all kind of get sad about the loss of all that product. However, Bill's question, do you prefer 3D printed, I'm assuming cockpits like instrument panels, or etched metal, got me to thinking about all the stuff we do have access to. And so I was kind of tinkering around and pulling through my stuff, and all of us, regardless of what genre you build, cars, autos of all forms, aircraft, armor, figures, space, sci-fi, ships, dinosaurs, everybody is used to seeing resin. And while companies like, I've got this old KMC, Kendall Model Corporation, they put out, this for instance is the SU-27 Flanker cockpit set, right? Or it's an upgrade set. Yeah, the update set. So it comes with the cockpit tub and wheels and side walls and ejection seats and all that stuff to kind of dress up a flanker. But alongside all of that resin, they include a really nice, nifty photo-etched metal set to go right inside with that thing. So between the two materials, the two different materials, resin and the photo-etched brass, you can turn out some really nicely detailed stuff with this. But KMC has kind of gone the way of the dodo. They're gone. Meter Productions and all the stuff they did is gone. But in their place, we have like Airs. Airs, yes, these come from the Czech Republic. They're all over the United States. This happens to be an RF4B cockpit set. And it's all resin, and it's a great big drop-in for all of the plastic kit parts that come with the model. But when you use this, you almost don't, you don't have to add any nose weight. I mean, this thing is really heavy in and of itself. You drop this after you paint it into your model, and you have not only far more detail than injection molded plastic could ever give you, even slide molding technology. Now you have nose weight in there to keep it on its tricycle gear, for crying out loud. And so resin has been around for ages, and there's still a good number of resin producing people that are casting stuff. And the thing that blows me away about resin is that those were examples of 1/48 scale. They do a bunch of 1/72. They've got all kinds of stuff in 1/35, 1/72 armor. You got 1/32 scale aircraft. There's people who are just nuts enough, like Retro Wings, and they do resin. Here you go. Here is a cockpit set for an AV-8B Harrier. You have a tub and the ejection seats in resin for a 1/144th scale model. Junkers Ju-87 Stuka cockpit detail set. And this thing comes with all separate sidewalls and separate floors and separate seats, including control sticks and instrument panels, 144th scale. So, you know, we can lament the loss of a lot of things, but guys, the time to be a scale modeler, there's no time like the present. Another medium that is like resin is white metal, and white metal's been around. Aero Club was casting stuff in white metal from the 70s, from crying out loud. And you look at like SAC, they are scale aircraft conversions. They do white metal struts for a great number of models, and they started off this line because of things like the monogram F-105 Thunder Chief series, whether the D, the F, or the G. By the time you get enough nose weight in that thing to hold it on its tricycle gear, I built one years ago, and it sat in my display cabinet with the landing gear there, and over the course of about 18 months, that nose gear strut started to stress and bow under the weight of all that nose weight. The plastic just gave out and folded under. So SAC comes along, and they start giving you white metal undercarriage that's strong enough to hold up under all that nose weight and stuff on these bigger models. Love these things. So yeah, you talk about resin and conversions, and go back a ways. How long has resin been with us? Here is from Rose Parts. This is a 2-seat Camel. You can see it's got, let's see, it's got space in there for 2 pilots, 2 seats. It's a 2-seat conversion. Who's doing conversions? This thing was being sold in '92. This is almost 2022. You know, how many years ago? We've had resin forever. A Fokker D7 first production nose conversion. I mean, the stuff that's around is just unbelievable. So guys, enjoy this. How many of you have messed with clear parts that just gur you up? I mean, I don't know how much armor guys need vacuum formed or, you know, replacement clear glass, but aircraft, it's critical having a crystal clear canopy. And so you have folks like Squadron have been around for ages doing that. This is like an A-26 canopy. This is a B-26 Marauder, a Lavochkin LA-7. Now it's on the floor. I'll step on it. It's no good. But you know, the point is we have companies, Squadron and Falcon and a couple others have been doing vacuum form replacements forever, so you get nice, thin, crystal clear, accurate canopies to one of your kits. The proliferation of this stuff is just unreal. So now I'm kind of walking through this because there's a reason for this. Just hang with me, drink some coffee, walk around with me, guys. I will be right there with you. Yeah, the Black Widow monogram kit, clear plastic, was a pain. Nowadays, I don't know about you guys, but I gotta tell you, I'm gonna just come out and admit it. Maybe it's masochistic, maybe it's not, but I personally, I wasn't at first. It took doing it a few times. So at first I was not, but today I really am an absolute fan, big fan of doing the 5,000 sheet etched brass, metal origami exercises. I love folding etched metal, curving it, curling it, making these things three-dimensional out of the two-dimensional sheet to replace parts with scale thickness, scale relief inside of kits. I love etched metal. And etched metal along the way has increased to where like Eduard and Part and so many others are now doing color photo etch where you can see the color of the seat backs and the seat belts and these things, and then you move forward to the instrument panels and the interiors, and these things are all done in color with great relief, and you can drop these things in cockpits and they just look magnificent. Some people say it's cheating. I say use what's available and turn out the best thing you can. So I love photo etched metal. Justin says I'm nuts, but I like the metal origami. Along the way, just thinking of those canopies and stuff, some people really struggle with clear part, and guys just swear by the die-cut mask sets. These are some of the yellow kabuki tape examples from Eduard and their masks. You've got Montex does them in vinyl. There used to be the Black Magic sets from Cutting Edge, were really magnificent. There's a couple of other manufacturers out there doing them, but masks are fantastic. And you want to talk about getting a nice clean parting line, accurate around, a compound curve of a canopy that's curved this way and this way, and getting all that on. You see it in metal, you see it on cars, you see it. This stuff is fantastic. Love the masking sets. And recently, we have had, where are we with technology? Now, the first people that I was aware of doing this happened to be out of Poland, and that was Jehu. And Jehu started offering printed instrument panels, and that, like this one was made for the Monogram, Revell, and Hasegawa 1/48 scale B-17G Flying Fortress. And you can see that instrument panel in there. This thing is just magnificent, and it is a straight drop-in for the kit part. And I know some people that turn their nose up at it. Hey, good on you. I've got some, and I'm going to use them because I think they're just stinking gorgeous. And out of that comes, there's two relative newcomers to the world of scale detail sets, and they both do armor and aircraft parts, and that is Quintus Studios and Red Fox. And these two, and there's a third one that's come along and started doing, I think, part out of Poland, and there may be one more, are now doing these 3D printed decals. And I'm gonna share these with you. Red Fox, if you're not familiar with them, their website is www.RomeoFoxtrotStudio, rfstudio.hu, Hotel Umbrella. So they're in Hungary, and www.rfstudio.hu. I bought their SU-34 set. By the way, all this stuff I was sharing over here, all these pieces, this is the Big Ed set for the SU-34 fullback. And when I came across this, I decided I was no longer going to use that color etch set, but I'm going to drop this Red Fox 3D printed. Wait till you see this, guys. This thing is magnificent. 3D printed cockpit in here, and I bought the set that comes with the black instrument screens because I wanted them to be powered down. You can buy this set like this in black, and the very next part number, these were part number, I'll get it for you, 48123, and like 48124, or maybe 48122, but it was right next to it in their catalog, was this same cockpit set, but it had green luminescent screens with images on them and the maps on one, because you can get them powered up or powered down. And I chose to buy the powered down set to go with my full bag. Quinta is doing not just the instrument panels, but they're doing whole cockpit sets. And a number of you guys are probably familiar with Revell put out the 32nd scale Mark II Spitfire, but it was for the song Aces High by Iron Maiden, and they include two of the little Eddie figures, their mascot, one seated, one standing. I'm a big Iron Maiden fan. I've seen them in concert several times. Love their music. Yes, I bought the Mark II Spitfire for Aces High. And now Quinta Studios has released a Spitfire Mark II 32nd scale cockpit set. And this thing is to die for. So, number one, not only do you get the instrument panel, but if you look at this thing, I got to hit both cameras. If you look at this thing, you can see there's a blank spot in the center of the instrument panel. Well, this piece right up here fits right down in that to add to the 3D of these products so that they're accurate and correct. And then it has a number. You can feel all these things. It's like Braille through the plastic here. But they have all these other, throttles and levers, and here's some cabling running along the inside of the bulkheads. All this stuff is to dress up the entire cockpit. When you're done with this, they even include 3D printed in color seat harnesses so that you can dress up the seat, glue these on the back, fold them over, and you get a natural drape. They're in color. Oh, man, be still, my foolish heart. Yes, this is what companies are doing these days. And so, Bill's, I will just take you guys back and tell you, Bill's question, what do you prefer, 3D printed, decals or photo etched metal? Guys are answering that. I encourage you guys, keep going in, answer that question for yourself, share with a group. But it led me to start thinking about things on an even larger level. And that larger level is it not just a great time to be a scale modeler? We have technology, and the stuff that is coming out now has added such a depth of realism and, convincibility to the subjects that we're building. It is just unreal to me what is available. And we, as scale modelers today, are reaping the benefits of all this stuff. We get to use all this stuff to add all of that realism, all of that authenticity to our projects. And I just, I love dry brushing a raised detail instrument panel and cockpits with the, combings and instrumentation along the side arms and all that. I get it. I know there's a lot of you that would prefer to continue doing that. Good on you, brothers and sisters. I hope you're doing so. I love doing it myself. But every now and then, I like turning out something that looks like you could literally climb in the cockpit and fly away if you were only 2 3/4 inches tall. And the stuff we have available to us is just making that absolutely possible, and I love it. So, the final thought that struck me happened earlier today. I'm going to share this with you. Most of you know that I do some work with Detail and Scale, the books and the production, Bert Kinsey. So over there in Detail and Scale, not over there in Detail and Scale, a friend of mine, let me back up, a friend of mine called me said, hey, can you build a 1/144th scale F-14 Tomcat? And, you know, I went, well, of course I can. Got a bunch of my stash. He said, yeah, but I need it, like, soon. I said, okay, what's soon? He said, 1 January. Now, you guys know me. That's, what, 5 weeks, basically? Yeah. 5 weeks, maybe 6. I am not a fast builder. I'm a slow builder. I wish I built faster, but I don't. I know my limitations. So I'm going, wow. With all the stuff I got going on, the Anatomy of a Star, my Jordan 191 Racer, the PBY Catalina, for crying out loud, that A26 Invader. I've got so many things. I want to finish that M60, the patent M60 A1 from Desert Storm. All the figures are still sitting over here. You know, they got yet to just be finished up and put on the dang display. So I'm going, all right, I'll do you an F-14. So out of my stash, I've got several that I've got, like these, I've got some retro wings, cockpits, and wheel wells and whatnot, detail sets for 144 scale F-14. And I know I couldn't finish one of those by 1 January. So I'm over there and I'm kind of thumbing through my stash, and lo and behold, I come across this ancient Academy F-14. It's basically a Tomcat. Now this plastic has been around. It was released as, you know, LS and RE and probably 4 other names. This and the molds have hung up, have held up remarkably well. The shapes are accurate. The panel lines are engraved. It's actually a pretty nice little model. You get 4 AIM 120 Sparrows for it. No Phoenix missiles, no Sidewinders, but, you know, hey, what are you gonna do? And it's actually not a bad kit. It doesn't come with a lot of detail. It's got openings for a cockpit, but no cockpit in there. And I was kind of looking through this, and I started thumbing through the instructions. And when I got to thumbing through the instructions, I mean, it's literally like 5 steps. You know, put the wings together, drop the body together, put the nose together, put the undercarriage and missiles on. Okay, you're done. And then you go to painting. And when you go to painting, the color callouts for this are basically the gloss gold gray over white. Okay. And you have white upper surface, you know, control surfaces. Okay. But color number 7 is on the wing tips, the horizontal stab tips, the vertical stab tips, and there's this humongous stripe right down the fuselage under the canopy. And I'm looking at this stuff, and I went, none of this looks familiar to me. So I don't recognize any of this. And I'm looking at the decals, and the decals 144 scale. So they've got some 2-dimensional representation of an animal. So I went, all right, I got to figure out what the heck these decals are all about. Well, I happen to have the detail and scale colors and markings part 1 for the Atlantic squadrons and part 2 for the Pacific squadrons. And I'm thumbing through these books, and I'm looking for the tail code NH aircraft. And these are the decals for this model. And I'll tell you, you can see there's this little orange animal thing in there. And I'm trying to figure out what that little orange animal is. And the NH. And I'm thumbing through this magazine, and lo and behold, I come up and I find orange trim, aardvark on the tail, orange stripe. There it is, orange stripe, aardvark on the tail, NH code for VF 114 aardvarks. Who'd have thunk it? I have no idea. Fred's weighing in. It's an aardvark, you idiot. Yeah, dude, way beyond me. You know what I know about F-14s? They starred in Top Gun, and a lot of people are crazy about them, like Tom Sherrill. And that's about the depth of my knowledge of F-14s. So I was trying to figure out who the heck this was. And going through this book, I now have all the tools at my disposal to turn out an accurate representation of this little Academy 144 scale kit. Because not only do we have all of these details that I just went through, resin, white metal, etched metal, 3D printed, and on and on and on, we have the most comprehensive references at our disposal that you can now go out and accurately build anything and everything to your little heart's desire. And that, to me, is what really, when you take all of that together, okay, we've lost the local hobby shops, but the amount of stuff available to us to build these models accurately and correctly is just, there appears to be no end to it. And what better time could there possibly be to be a scale modeler than now? I can't think of one. So guys, again, congratulations to the winners, Mark Carver, Tim Farley, and Stanley George on your group builds. I will, again, be in contact with you guys regarding getting you something for your for winning. And we will put out a poll for the next group build. A number of you guys came over like I did from ATS, and so most of you, well, not most of you, some of you like me may be participating in Stanley and Michael put together that Dirty Santa. So maybe we do some Dirty Santa themed building as we cross over into the new year, because everyone's going to be getting their Dirty Santa gift. We might just allow people time to build their Dirty Santa thing and then start a group build, or maybe we'll run them in parallel, who knows. But we're coming up to the holidays. Thanksgiving is next week here in the United States. Looking forward to celebrating that with family. I hope you guys are looking forward to just a wonderful time of food and fellowship with family and friends for your Thanksgiving. I'll still be in here live next Friday with you guys regardless. Wish you all a happy Thanksgiving then. And, then Christmas is around the corner. December 7th is around the corner. New Year's is around the corner. This is a very exciting time in just this time of year with all the celebration and stuff going on. So guys, keep building, keep your chin up, hang tough through the holidays, love on your families, love on your friends, love on your workbench, enjoy yourselves building. I look forward to, what time is dinner, Mark says. You'll have to ask the missus because she runs the holiday meals. I do all the cooking 360 days a year. The 5 holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Easter. Joanne is the cook for the holidays. If I'm cooking, you'll be down. So, guys, my best to you. Enjoy yourselves this weekend. Come join us in the rooms. I love all you guys. It's great hanging out with you for Friday night. I will see you again next Friday. By the way, the shirts are available. This is your steel gray, or heavy metal gray. The blue is out. You've seen Bill post his picture. I've got mine. If you want, go buy a shirt from Teespring and show your solidarity and identity with the group. And until then, you guys have a great weekend. This is Vince for Infinite Models saying, have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you again next Friday.
We hope you have enjoyed this Infinite Models presentation.